Hey, it's Amber from Biceps After Babies, and I'm going to teach you how to perform a reverse lunge. A reverse lunge starts with your heels underneath your hips, and then, like it sounds, you're going to take a big step back. So big step back into a nice long lunge. Now, a couple things to think about as you go back into that reverse lunge. Notice how my feet right now, I like to say they're on like a railroad track, right? Like if you can imagine, if there's a railroad track underneath me, my feet are on the railroad track. As I step back, I want to keep my feet on that same railroad track. So what I don't want to do is drop my foot back here. Notice how I just brought my feet in a lot more narrow. I've now stepped off that railroad track and I feel very unstable here, which is why we want to make sure from this position that we're taking a step back and I'm still nice and wide. I feel much more steady, much more stable in this position than I feel in this position. So big step back into that reverse lunge. Next cue is you're going to want to make sure that your chest stays nice and lifted. We should not be lunging, my friends, like this. This is not how we lunge. We lunge like this with our chest nice and tall and nice and high. And then from this position, we're just thinking about literally just like lowering our body down and bringing our body up. There is no of this, there's no forward motion. There should be no forward motion on a lunge. It's literally a drop down and a drop up. Notice my chest stays tall the whole time, dropping down and coming up. Couple cues with the knee so that we can really protect the knee joint. As you come down into that bent knee position, really pay attention that your knee is not caving in. So a lot of times what we'll see, someone will come down into a lunge and then their knee will cave in and they will push up. It's really an unsteady, unsafe position to put your knee into. And so instead, what I like to cue is if you think about pushing your knee out. Think about pushing your knee out as you drive up through the lunge. So that should look like this. I come down into the lunge, I think about pushing my knee out, which is gonna activate my glute, and I'm going to drive back up through the heel. So the weight should be on this front leg. This back leg is just like it's just steadying me. The weight is on the front leg and specifically on the front heel. Good cue. Imagine you had a nail. It was going into the ground and your job was to push that nail into the ground. That's going to allow you, that cue is going to allow you to remember when you push up, you want to, I think about lifting my toe. I don't actually lift my toe, but I think about lifting my toe so that all my weight is in that heel, which is gonna activate and fire up this glute, and I drive up. So think about that nail, think about pushing that nail down into the ground. So what did this look like in a dynamic fashion? Something like this, heels under hips, I'm stepping long back, coming down into a lunge, coming back up to center. Stepping back, long lunge, back to center. Every single time I'm thinking about pushing that knee out, I'm thinking about driving through the glute. This is what I'm working right here. I want to be activating my glute muscle, driving up through that heel. We can hold dumbbells. You can hold a barbell on your back. You can do it unweighted as just a body weight exercise. That's your reverse lunge.